You know, being a ghost spirit in a doll body has been a complicated experience, but I've made some good memories here.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 funniest What We Do in the Shadows running gags.
Hi.
And you know Sam, of course.
Oh yeah. Hey, what's up, Sam?
For this list, we're looking at all the hilarious jokes and references that regularly pop up in the vampire comedy. Be warned, some entries mention major plot points for seasons 1 through 4. What's your favorite running gag on the show? Share the laughs in the comments below. Number 10. Repeatedly erasing Shawns' memories. Shawn Rinaldi is one of the non-vampire characters in What We Do in the Shadows. As the next-door neighbor to Nandor, Nadja, Laszlo, and Colin Robinson, he's witnessed some strange things and has been hypnotized on an almost regular basis.
Okay, you won't remember anything about how you attempted to seduce me just now. Continue with your tale.
I'm in too deep.
At the Super Bowl party, Laszlo and Nandor perform a double hypnosis that leaves him with the dreaded brain scramblies.
All right, bros. Who's ready for piping hot nachos fresh from the microwave?
Sean, those are batteries.
They've considered killing the human on more than one occasion, but ultimately let him live sans memories. Luckily for Shawn, his nocturnal neighbors have grown fond of him, especially his main man Laz.
He's my best friend, he's my pal. He's my homeboy, my rotten soldier. He's my sweet cheese, my good time boy.
Their efforts to keep their immortality under wraps result in some of the funniest moments of the series, many of which involve Shawnee Boy. We're pretty concerned about the state of his brain, though.
You can make a pizza tree? I just made 10 Robux. What's the street value of that?
Number 9. Nadja can't say Jeff. In the pilot episode, we learn that Nadja has a secret love affair with a mortal man spanning centuries. Gregor was once a knight, but then appeared to her in different iterations, with his life always ending in a beheading. This time she finds her reincarnated lover in the form of regular guy Jeff Suckler.
My sweet, great Jeff, really, Jeff Suckler?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Unfortunately, he's not the Gregor she longs for.
This version of Gregor? It is a boring disgrace. And you know what? It's because they named him Jeff.
Nadja's struggle to properly pronounce his one-syllable name is absurdly hilarious. After cycling through a few attempts, Jesk seems to be her go-to.
In this life, he is called Jex. Jesh. Jenk? It sounds like Jej.
While the character only appeared in the first 2 seasons, his penchant for reinvention means we could meet him again, maybe with a better name.
Oh, yes. Jesk. So you are a ghost now, yes?
Number 8. Laszlo Cravensworth, Renaissance Man. Being a centuries-old immortal being, Laszlo Cravensworth is inherently worldly and a master of the arts and sciences. Throughout the series, he reveals his countless vocations and powerful influence on historical happenings. Beginning in the late 1800s, he was an actor in what he says is thousands of adult films.
If you see them now, they are still very, very erotic.
He was also busy being the infamous serial killer Jack the Ripper.
I've never told anyone that before, and I wish I'd made love more.
Well, you did that a lot. A lot.
I suppose I did.
He's a skilled musician who plays nearly every instrument and was one half of Nadja and Laszlo, a singer-songwriter duo behind some of music's most popular tunes.
Did you really write Come On Eileen?
Yes, I did. I wrote this melody in 1852. It was called Chum on Irene, an ode to the local fishmonger's missus, Irene. Charming lady.
With his experience as a barrister and his relationship with Sigmund Freud, Laszlo is also knowledgeable about law and psychology.
I spent a few of my younger years with Sigmund Freud while he was using cocaine and working on his theory that all neurosis is derived from what he called hand envy.
Each career is more impressive than the last, and we have a feeling that's only scratching the surface of his extensive resume. Number 7. Colin Robinson's boring stories. As an energy vampire, Colin Robinson feasts on the emotions of humans and vampires alike. Needless to say, he is a pro when it comes to boring someone to the point of unconsciousness.
The thing with motion smoothing that you have to remember is you want it on for sporting events, but off for TV and movies. Even take a football movie like 1974's The Longest Yard, starring mustachioed actor Burt Reynolds.
He thrives in monotony. So his bland office job is the perfect place to drain the life out of people already operating on autopilot.
Feeling better now. I was a little sick this weekend. Hey, Don. Don. I have to pee too.
When Colin Robinson is temporarily a younger version of himself, he still finds a way to test everyone's patience, trading in useless facts about TV picture quality for Roblox and musical theater tidbits.
I used Nolan when I got that Stranger Things Lego set. I used it to make the library and the Music Man, which is...
Boy, we don't have time for this right now. Let's get on.
Okay, but Laszlo, guess what?
You don't have to keep saying guess what to preface every remark that you make.
It's hard to say what age the Daywalker is at his most annoying. But we must say, little Colin's incessant guess what is amusing to no end.
I'll check my schedule. Seaman's schedule is wide open. Don't say Seaman. What would even be on the agenda? Our names. But actually, I think the term you're looking for is nicknames.
The Collins seem to be draining each other's energy.
Number 6, Guillermo's Van Helsing heritage.
I have Van Helsing DNA in my blood. But he's not real, so... He's not real. Is he?
At the end of season 1, Nandor's long-suffering familiar turned bodyguard Guillermo discovers he's a descendant of legendary vampire hunter Abraham Van Helsing.
I'm like killing vampires, killing, but also wanting to be a vampire. I just had to think about that and also manage my everyday duties, which were falling at the wayside because I wasn't focused.
Considering he's been dying to become a vampire himself, this information causes some conflict. Guillermo's natural vampire killing abilities are unparalleled, and the ease with which he can kill bloodsuckers is almost slapstick. His shock after the first few slayings led to some funny moments, mostly because they're accidental. And since murder is a stark contrast to Guillermo's kind-hearted nature, everyone laughs at the thought of him as a fearless hunter. When it comes time to save his master and other roommates, though, Guillermo de la Cruz massacres an entire theater full of vampires in a simultaneously comical and badass scene.
Guillermo, is there something you haven't been telling us?
Number 5, That Familiar Life.
Being a vampire's familiar is like being a best friend who's also a slave.
Working as a vampire's familiar is a thankless job with no actual benefits aside from possibly becoming a vampire one day. Regular duties include housekeeping, obtaining human sustenance, body disposal, and other dangerous and/or demeaning tasks. We mostly see the bleak familiar world through Guillermo, whose tireless work goes unappreciated as he endures varying levels of cruelty. Laszlo and Nadja don't even bother to get his name right, instead referring to him as Gizmo despite constantly being corrected.
Gizmo, be a good familiar and fetch my broom.
Well, I'm not familiar anymore, so...
Fetch your broom from the hostess now, Guillermo.
Nandor promised to turn him into a vampire, but more than 10 years later, he's yet to fulfill that promise.
How is it that now everyone thinks they can be a vampire? I told you before, we'll talk about it later.
You always want to talk about it later, but what if I have a better offer right now?
But right now?
Yes.
Then you should take it.
The whole dynamic is peak tragic comedy, especially when Guillermo meets elderly familiars, facing the sad reality that his vampiric transformation will likely never come.
So how long have you been a familiar? You don't look very familiar.
I see what you did there. 10 years.
10 years?
Yeah.
A decade.
It's considered being an expert.
Number 4, Bat Transformation.
When I turn into a bat, there's no real skill to it at all. I just shout, bat! Human form. Much like that.
Among their many abilities, vampires can turn into bats instantly. Nandor, Laszlo, and Nadja transform and often leave Guillermo and Colin Robinson behind.
Bat!
While it's a common power in general vampire lore, Laszlo manages to make it look silly by shouting bat and human form to transform. Since it doesn't seem like other vamps are required to say anything to change, this act is presumably totally unnecessary. When he tries to show Nadja's baby vamp how to become a bat, however, it doesn't quite work out for her.
Bat! It's okay, calm down. Just stop screaming.
Terrifying. What would you even call that?
It's just one of the many oddities that make Laszlo one of our favorite characters. Number 3. Simon's crew introductions.
But I haven't even introduced you to my crew, the Leatherskins. Of course, that's Big Vlad behind you, Abaddon, and Pusa. We've got the Freak Sisters over there. They're 2 sisters and they're not related.
Simon the Devious runs the Manhattan vampires with an eclectic crew known as the Leatherskins, mainly consisting of fellow vamps, but also a human who later becomes a zombie. We're first introduced to them at the Sassy Cat Club. And though there are seemingly more than 20 crew members, everyone gets an intro. Even the guy Simon claims he doesn't know.
I don't know who some of these people even are. This guy, I don't know him. Look at my ex-accountant, Ken the zombie. Indeed, Ken.
In his following encounters with Nandor, Laszlo, and Nadja, he unnecessarily goes through the coterie roster again in nearly the same order, including new additions like Vampire Elvis.
Hey. Elvis, you traitor!
You only just met him last night.
King, how could you do this? It was me who made you a vampire.
It is what it is.
Ain't that the truth, Elvis?
With unforgettable names like Blavglad the Exsanguinator and Desdemona the Shrieker, it's impossible to choose a favorite. Still, Mr. 50s and Count Rapula are definitely up there with the most ridiculous.
I rose from my tomb with 3 laughs and a boom. When you think you alone, I'm in your home. Getting room tone.
No.
Scary stories and fables, and XLR cables my label.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Count Rapula. I think we all get it.
Number 2. The language of Laszlo. Ask any What We Do in the Shadows fan what they love most about the show, and they are likely to say Laszlo's uniquely flowery language.
My darling, Bran and Toby are brothers with a keen eye on interior decor. They turn the most mundane property from shabby to chic.
He adds extra syllables, drawing out words in an almost sing-songy lilt. When he tries to pass as Jackie Daytona, an American from the Southwest, he doesn't even bother to change his British accent.
You say you're from Tucson, but you talk all fancy and Europe-like.
This is the way we talk in Tucson, Arizona.
Whether Laszlo knows he's mispronouncing words or genuinely believes he's correct is one of the show's great mysteries. Pair his entertaining speech patterns with a lack of understanding of the modern world, and you've got yourself a solid comedic performance. Plus, Matt Berry's line delivery is iconic and simply irresistible.
Nandor, I've been double-crossed by the devil.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are some honorable mentions. Laszlo and Nadja's dying familiars. Good help is hard to keep alive.
We've been through about 7 familiars this year.
7?
Yeah, remember Joey?
No, my dear, I'm not that familiar.
Shawns' obsession with the Oceans franchise. The die-hard fan is particularly passionate about the world building.
Brad Pitt's tinted sunglasses from when he first meets Baron Talor. Ooh, Scott Conn bobblehead, mint condition. Yeah, it's like they did some decent world building in 11, but
it all pays off in Ocean's 12.
Celebrity guest stars. From the entire Vampiric Council to Blade actor Donald Logue, the series loves a cameo.
Yeah, I kind of got jumped in after Blade came out.
But you are a vampire, yes?
Yes. Kind of a funny story. I was not a vampire when I filmed Blade, but it was such a fun shoot, and I sort of fell in love with the lifestyle, so I decided to jump in and go whole hog.
Vampires versus modern times. Despite many years on Earth, these vamps didn't take the time to learn how to use technology.
It's gone play.
No, it's just asleep.
Arise. Arise. What is arise again? Control-Alt-7?
Vampire movie references. It's no surprise they'd be fans of the horror subgenre.
Get me some glitter.
Whatever for, Master.
Oh, I want to do something special for the immortal one's arrival. I'm going to sprinkle it on my face and on my body, like twilight.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Cursed Witchkin Hat.
I acquired this hat while draining the blood of a Bavarian Hexenbrenner, or witch burner. He must have noticed me eyeing it, because in his dying breath, he said, "Take my hat, it's cool." Yes, it is cool, I thought.
It bleeds, it crawls, it causes nothing but misfortune. And yet Laszlo's 100% witchskin hat remains a coveted item, though only Simon the Devious and Laszlo seem to think so. It's at the center of their historic rivalry and never fails to bring chaos.
You gave it to me as a gift.
You took it by force from me in New York City.
Yes, and it looked better on me in New York City. And it will be mine.
Simon goes to great lengths to obtain the cursed object, even creating an entire HGTV show about home renovations called Go Flip Yourself.
Did I create, pitch, sell, and produce 150 episodes of Go Flip Yourself for the sole purpose of regaining access to your home here in New York City?
Despite their repeated negative experiences, these two vamps are in deep denial about the hat's habit of death and destruction. They will continue to fight over the cursed headwear, and we'd be lying if we said we didn't love to see it.
I reckon that hat's got some bad hoodoo in it, huh?
There's nothing wrong with a hat, Elvis.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.